Welcome to the Flag Bearer channel. This is Little Known Black History Facts. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Sara Forbes Bonetta, African princess, protege of Victorian royalty. Sara Forbes Bonetta Davies, a West African Yoruba girl, was captured by the King of Dahomey in 1848 during a slave hunt war in which her parents were killed. Sara Forbes Bonetta, also known as Sally Forbes Bonetta, was born Omoboa Ina around 1843. She was a princess of the Egbado clan of the Yoruba people in West Africa. At the age of 5 years old, Ina was orphaned during the Okeadon War with the nearby Kingdom of Dahomey when she and her parents were captured by rival Dahomans who had taken them as captives. Her parents were eventually killed in a ritual sacrifice, while her family was killed in the war. As the daughter of an African chief, Ina was kept in captivity by King Ghezo of Dahomey as a prisoner of war, either to be presented to an important visitor or to be sacrificed at the death of a minister or official to become his attendant in the next world. King Ghezo was the dominant figure in West Africa in the supply of enslaved people, as it was his main source of revenue. For many years, Britain had played a central role in the transatlantic slave trade, but in 1833 abolished slavery throughout its empire. The British Empire's mission was to undermine the trade, both by intercepting French and Spanish slave ships and by using diplomacy to dissuade local leaders from taking part in the trade. In 1850, a British naval officer, Captain E. Frederick Forbes, commander of the HMS Bonetta, arrived in Dahomey on a mission to negotiate the suppression of the slave trade among the Dahomans with King Ghezo. At such encounters, it was standard practice to exchange gifts, but among the gifts Ghezo offered to Forbes, including a keg of rum, 10 heads of cowries, and a rich country cloth, was an unexpected gift, a captive girl. While there, he asked the king for the little girl as a present. Whether for himself or on behalf of Queen Victoria is not clear. It is also not clear whether Ghezo offered the child freely or whether Forbes bargained for her, but she clearly impressed him. Forbes believed that the fact that Ghezo had held her for 2 years and not sold her to slave traders meant that she was likely to be of high status. He also feared, with reason, as Ghezo was known to have sacrificed high-status captives, that she was destined to be offered as a human sacrifice. So Forbes accepted Ina as a gift on behalf of Queen Victoria. Before returning to England, he took her to the Church Missionary Society in Bagdari, a former slave trading port, where she was baptized Sara Forbes Bonetta, after his own name and that of his ship. The change of name signaled her separation from her African roots. The child was brought to England, where she lived at first with Captain Forbes' family. Forbes wrote to Queen Victoria asking her to take Sara under her protection. The Queen agreed. Later on, she was taken to Windsor Castle and received by Queen Victoria and Prince Albert. She was presented to Queen Victoria and thereafter raised under the Queen's protection in England and Sierra Leone, which at that time was under British dependency. The Queen paid for Sara to be educated and saw her several times in the space of a few years. Sara, a highly intelligent girl, developed a particular talent for music. So the extraordinary transformation of Sara's life began. She initially stayed with the Forbes family and visited the Queen regularly. In 1851, though, Sara was sent to the Church Missionary Society School in Freetown, Sierra Leone, with the intention that she should become a missionary herself. She had begun to suffer from coughs, and there was a widespread belief at that time that the English climate was harmful to Africans' health. While Sara was in Freetown, the Queen continued to send her presents and books. Apparently unhappy there, Sara returned to England after 4 years. Queen Victoria then placed her with the Shone family, former missionaries in Africa, who lived in Gillingham, Kent. Sara lived with them for 6 years before moving to Brighton, much against her wishes, where the Queen had arranged for a woman to oversee Sara's introduction into British society. Sara's accomplishments were keenly scrutinized, particularly in the press, by those who were keen to discover where her achievements would shed on widely held racist beliefs about the intellectual inferiority of African people. Queen Victoria was so impressed by Sara's natural regal manner and her gift for academic studies, literature, art, and music that she gave her an allowance for her welfare, and Sara became a regular visitor to the Windsor Castle. Sara's genius became admired throughout the royal court, and she continued to outshine her tutors with her advanced abilities in all studies. When Sara was 19, a Sierra Leone-born merchant, James Davies, whose own parents were Yoruba Africans who had been freed from slavery, declared his interest in marrying her. Sara and James were first introduced when Sara was at the mission school in Sierra Leone, but they barely knew each other. The Queen approved of the match, and whatever Sara's misgivings may have been, the couple married in August 1862. On her marriage certificate, Sara gave her first name as Ina, her African name. Sara's status as protege of the Queen ensured that the wedding was a lavish affair. There was also widespread curiosity about her as a supposed African princess. The Bishop of Sierra Leone officiated the ceremony, and large crowds gathered to witness the spectacle. Newspapers reported that there were 10 horse-drawn carriages and 16 bridesmaids, and that the wedding party was made up of white ladies with African gentlemen and African ladies with white gentlemen. Their union was widely viewed as a symbol of the perceived accomplishments of Britain's civilizing mission. In the words of one contemporary newspaper, this wedding of two anglicized, wealthy, well-connected Africans was proof of the successes that philanthropists and the missionary had over the prejudices of pride and blood. Shortly afterwards, Sara and James had a series of photographs taken by Camille Sylvie, the celebrity photographer of the day, underlying their status in society. The Queen herself may have commissioned them. As Davies' business was in Africa, not long after the wedding, the couple moved to Sierra Leone and later to Lagos, Nigeria. Shortly after her marriage, Sara gave birth to a daughter and was granted permission by the Queen to name the child Victoria. The Queen also became her godmother. Sara and James had 2 more children, but by the late 1860s, Sara was suffering from tuberculosis, for which there was no cure. Throughout her life, Sara had had a long-lasting cough that was caused by the climate change between Africa and Britain. She eventually traveled to Madeira off the coast of West Africa, hoping that its temperate climate would help with her condition. But she died there on August 15, 1880, at the age of 37. Her daughter Victoria was given an annuity by the Queen, and she continued to visit the royal household throughout her life. Until next time, if you like little-known history facts as I do, please like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Press the bell to be notified of future uploads. Thank you for watching.